Welcome back to it's going to be a crazy one. Crazy episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog. It is the night before Election Day, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of America, for now, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, how are you? You nervous? How you feeling? You psyched? What's going on?
Never more confident. I would say this is the most confident. I wasn't this confident in 2016. I can be honest about that now. But now I see the enthusiasm. I see that our supporters are so enthusiastic. They've ordered extra ammo, extra Mountain Dew, extra bath salts. And, I see the enthusiasm. John Legend, this guy, we've talked about him quite a bit on this podcast.
You love his voice. You love his voice.
One of the worst singers that's ever been on the whole planet. His name should be John, not a Legend. His friend Common, the rapper Common, he's got more of an appropriate name at least. But they have him putting people to sleep in Philadelphia. That's what Sleepy Joe got a lullaby singer to do his final event. I think it's actually the first time he's gotten something right. I'm right now backstage. We're in a hotel near where we are. And Ted Nugent is currently having sex with a blow-up doll of a 15-year-old girl while playing guitar. That's how we get our people revved up. Okay, so the enthusiasm is off the charts. Sleepy Joe has Not a Legend singing.
I know how you feel about John Legend. Now, Mr. President, Election Day tomorrow. I know you're not nervous. You have been going crazy with the rallies. What is it? 17 rallies in 4 days? That right after getting over COVID is
I can hear it. Tech stuff. What's your name, tech stuff guy?
It's Jay Nog.
Fred, they're telling us they've never seen energy like this ever. The doctors, I like that. Even they look at me and they say, "Sir, I've never seen somebody with this much energy." And it's, that's what we need running the country. High energy, not low energy Joe.
Mr. President, you're not exhausted from 17 rallies in 4 days. Is it, are you just so excited, or is this a nervous, are you nervous and frightened because 17 rallies in 4 days, you trying to just get last minute votes? What's going on here?
Let me tell you something, and tell these people to mute. They're being very disrespectful.
I will mute people.
Get them the hell out. Get them out. Here's what we're doing. And I don't like to bring him up, and I know he's going to come up later in the show, and we're going to do something very strongly about that. But the great Jeff Epstein. When I hung out with Jeff Epstein, I was in my 40s and early 50s.
Are you sure about that? Because I just saw a picture. You were very young. You had no.
Very young. Well, thank you. I looked very young in my 40s. I looked extremely young.
I think it was younger, though, but okay.
Well, I was in my 40s.
All right.
In the 80s. So it's late 30s, early 40s, whatever. You're interrupting me. He would have, as you know, very young women, very high energy. Okay. Very high energy women. In fact, they never stopped doing jump rope. I think they called it hopscotch. So they were very high energy women. And I was already in my 40s. So to keep up with them, I had to have higher energy. And it's the same thing now. Even in my 70s, I now have the energy of a man in his 40s. So I've always been very good at being very strong in terms of my energy. So it's not a surprise. It's, Sleepy Joe is who we should be concerned about. He's not fit. He's not fit to, to run a nursing home, frankly.
Are you saying he's not fit, or are you just saying maybe he's being cautious and safe for his campaigning, or is he just
tech stuff, Fred?
Maybe he just thinks he's going to win by so much he doesn't have to campaign. What do you think?
Excuse me. Now you're being rude.
Okay.
My question for you
Hmm.
would be, what do you think it is? Because you're asking very nice, cute questions. Do you think Sleepy Joe Biden has the same energy as me?
No, you have very strong
Well, thank
energy.
you. Next question, then. You answered properly. Next question.
Okay. You were still trying to. Now, I'm surprised you were trying to not count drive-through votes, considering drive-through is your favorite restaurant at McDonald's, going through the drive-through and getting your daily meals. In Harris County in Texas,
It's
you
a
were.
total disrespect to our great McDonald's. How dare voting pretend that they're as important as McDonald's, that they should have drive through? What, voting is okay, it's important, but you can't use the McDonald's. Only McDonald's should be able to use the drive through. Voting is not as important.
So drive-through should only be allowed for McDonald's, but nothing else in the world.
Pretty much, you said it.
Okay, just making sure. Just wanted to clarify. So though you tried to stop those votes, but all those votes are being counted. You're angry about that?
Well, we have the Supreme Court. If we need to keep appealing these decisions, we have a great Supreme Court full of angry Catholics and a Handmaid's Tale lady. So I think we should be pretty strong there.
Now, Mr. President, people on social media are very worried. The country is worried that you are going to prematurely announce that you won no matter what, causing chaos in this country. Do you plan on doing that no matter what?
We're going to win tomorrow. At around 6 o'clock, I'm going to declare myself the winner and then tell all my people, do the do. That do the do is the code. It means shotgun a Mountain Dew, load up your shotgun and take to the streets. We're taking over. So do the do is is the is the code. When you hear me scream that at a rally, you know the takeover is happening. And then we'll win very strongly.
Is do the battle cry of MAGA starting tomorrow?
It,
If you
it,
hear that,
it,
clear
it
the streets.
no, I think it is the battle cry of the Trump warriors.
Trump warriors. Mr. President, your
They had a
supporters.
rebel yell. Remember the Civil War, the Confederates, the great Confederates had the rebel yell. We're going to have the Mountain Dew moronic grunt.
Okay.
And that's going to be our thing, and it's going to be in the history textbooks. It's going to be in, and they're going to talk of the great terrifying Mountain Dew moronic yell that came from all areas of the country. And it's going to be a beautiful thing for freedom. For freedom and for prosperity and for faith and for our great country.
Do you worry of violence and riots in every single city, especially major city, depending on who wins? If you win,
Well, Democrat cities are going to riot no matter what.
you think so no matter what?
No matter what. And then I hope that our great patriots and our great Second Amendment people, fight for their freedom. You shouldn't, this country was not founded on if you get less votes, your candidate doesn't win. That's a sort of new thing. The Democrats are trying to push on us. Oh, Trump didn't get as many votes as Sleepy Joe, therefore he's the loser. That's a totally new thing. That's a new thing that they're making up.
Okay. Well, the thing is, I don't. Going into the last election, people were saying how you were gonna get floored, and everyone was getting very cocky, and you ended up winning. Not by a lot, but you ended up winning. Now, if you announce
And then
prematurely, you may. Yeah.
Melatonin lost a bet and she had to get on the floor and get some cocky. So that's how we flipped it. We flipped the script, as the blacks say.
I see how you flip the script. And Mr. President, you are actually going to. uh, The results may not be announced tomorrow. You know that, right? You plan on doing some bonus.
There will be results announced.
Okay, well, you're
Maybe
going to.
not by the people you like, but I will be announcing, remember,
Yes.
do the do. And then all hell breaks loose.
So you just scream, do the do, Tweet, do the do, and everybody knows what to do.
Everybody knows.
Okay. So
The Mountain Dew Massacre of 2020. That's what they're going to call it in all the textbooks that teach patriot education.
Mountain Dew Massacre in 2020. Oh, I'm so scared. Very, very frightening. Now,
As long as you have tremendous Secret Service protection and a panic room and nuclear weapons, you should be okay.
okay, so I guess I'm not going to be very okay. But Mr. President, you were going to join myself for bonus episodes all month.
Tech stuff, by the way.
Yes.
I think that people should know this. I just got recent intel.
Yes.
Are you not in a new home? Did you just buy a new home?
I did buy a new home. Yes.
And you didn't thank your president? You think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden you have this great wealth and this great real estate opportunity and you've been working with the president? The president, by the way, not some loser like Biden who wants to be president. And you don't even say anything. Well, congratulations. It would have been nice to get a thank you.
Thank you for my new home, Mr. President. I appreciate everything.
You're very welcome. That's what I can do for the country. If I can get tech stuff, guys, new homes, imagine what I could do with 4 more years for the country.
It should be, I don't know. It should be amazing what you do for our country, Mr. President. But I do want to tell everyone out there that you're going to be doing bonus episodes, probably 2 more episodes a week, maybe even more. And they're going to be, all the bonus episodes are going to be exclusively for Patreon patriots and going to be different levels. I don't know if you're willing to give to BGMP. I think you said only Ivanka level and higher because.
No. Okay. Let me explain. By the way,
please tell
we're going
everyone.
to see if we can get you evicted from your new home. You're obviously not worthy. What we're doing is the usual content. It's called content. Is going to be the same if you look at the different levels. There's going to be 1 bonus episode. There's going to be a movie review episode. By the way, I thought the reviews of Borat 2 and Cuties were some of the greatest movie reviews ever given. And then there will be a live episode. This doesn't count as the live episode for the perfect tens. And on top of that, content, it's called content, makes you content. You see how that works? Same word, same spelling, but if you say it differently. If you say it with cunt, all of a sudden it means you're happy. If you say Kant, like the philosopher, remember there was this philosopher, Kant. I always called him Kant. And I said, can't read it, don't want to. And that means bad. It's a very confusing thing. We're having the steroids are kicking in, everybody. The steroids are kicking in. Your president is starting to be activated, getting ready for the Mountain Dew revolution. But my point was, everybody's going to get the same content, but then all Patreon people, every level, will get 2 bonus episodes a week because we're now at a nice level of Patreon people. And we promised, and I tried to renege on the promise. And don't say that too fast. Renege. You don't want to finish that word. And then you said we had to honor it. And I was going to actually sue all our Patreon Patriot people. I was going to sue them and say, I'm not giving you the bonus content. And you said we should. So now we are. And if it fails, it'll be your fault.
Okay. I don't think we're going to fail. A few more things, Mr. President, before we get to, we're going to have lots of questions, I'm sure, on the eve of election. There was an incident with Joe Biden's bus. Trump supporters surrounded the bus, harassment.
Very strongly.
You approved of this. You weren't against it. Can you please explain how you felt about this?
Remember Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah, it was anarchy, total chaos, the world. Yes, I do remember.
We're going to call this Mountain Dew Fury Road. This podcast is not sponsored by Mountain Dew, by the way. It's just it's the unofficial beverage of MAGA. But no, it was a beautiful thing. It was letting them know that the people are not fans of Sleepy Joe, and they were letting him know. And I thought it was a beautiful thing. It warmed the heart to know that armed psychos that like Trump were out there trying to run a bus off the road. It was, It's one of those things that you just look back and you think they're those iconic moments in American history. George Washington crossing the river, Abraham Lincoln saying something boring, Martin Luther King talking to a bunch of blacks. And I think what belongs in that group of great moments in American history is Mountain Dew Fury Road surrounding the Sleepy Joe bus with their guns and threatening to kill them. I thought it was, it belongs in one of those iconic moments of American history. And I was very proud to be their president, very strongly proud.
Mr. President, speaking of being proud, you're very proud, and I'm proud
Mike
of our
Pence?
sponsor this week.
Oh,
I think you knew where I was going with it. We are
well,
sponsored.
you said proud. Mike Pence
Proud.
is very big into pride. So when you said proud, I thought you were talking about.
You could easily confuse that. I understand that. Mr. President, we have a sponsor this week, and that is betonline.ag. I'm BetOnline AG all the time, football every single Sunday, and NFL football continues on this week, which has a few surprise teams at the top of the standings. So many injuries this year, and you might not be at a game this year, only 20% usually, but you can still be in on the action at BetOnline. No matter how schedules change or players that play, BetOnline is going that extra mile to make sure you can get in on every game this season while the fastest updated odds in the industry. Also, you can bet on the presidency. Those odds are going up and down, up and down. It is crazy. Lock in your bet there. There are always more options to wager than anywhere online. They have a casino games as well. Head to BetOnline today and take advantage of all the great mid-season bonuses. There's future bets, bet on who's going to win the Super Bowl, different contests. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. That's betonline.ag. Mr. President, a few more things. I love, who is this? One of the people here have a picture of you and the great Jeffrey Epstein. I want to bring up Jeffrey Epstein, his house in Florida. Did you hear about his house in Florida? They are going to tear it down. I'm sure so many memories you had there with him and some elementary school kids. And
I believe they were teachers. I believe they were.
That's
we
right.
went through this. I believe they were elementary school teachers.
That's right. Elementary and eighth grade teachers. That's right. And they're ripping down the home. How do you feel about it? I'm surprised you haven't bought the home from the developer to stop this.
Well, this is obviously sort of, I think this is worse, and I mean this. I think this is worse than Joe Biden and the squad trying to blow up Mount Rushmore. They want to destroy Mount Rushmore. Jeff Epstein's home it's up there with sort of Thomas Jefferson's Monticello, his big home. This is a landmark in American history. And you talk about the parties he had. Some of those eighth grade teachers made delicious cupcakes in their easy bake ovens. Okay? This was a place of great comfort, of great friendship and mentoring, and of great wealth, of course, of great wealth. And I think it's a total disgrace. And, I plan on designating it a national landmark. We're not going to allow this to be sold or demolished or do whatever this nasty person wants to do. We need to honor the legacy of Jeff Epstein, the great Jeff Epstein, who I hope is, in heaven looking down as I speak and knows that I'm going to protect his land, his legacy is going to be safe under a Trump presidency. And I think, somebody suggested this in a very smart Twitter, a very strong Twitter tweet, said to me that what if it's going to be like an Indian burial ground? And I think we have to look into that, that it could be sort of a haunted, I don't know if you want to move in over there. The spirits of those eighth grade teachers and those Russian prostitutes that we buried in the ocean. What if they haunt you? What if they come back and haunt you while you're trying to live in your new home? I don't think that would be so good. We're calling it Pedophile Cemetery, like the Stephen King book.
I get it, Pet Cemetery, but yeah, I get it though. That's
pedophile.
I understand.
PET A-F-I-L-E, where he kept files on many pets in the neighborhood. That's where, so that's why it's like Pet Cemetery. I don't know what you were thinking.
I was thinking the same thing. He's a huge
I'm not
pet
sure you
lover.
were thinking. I'm not sure you were thinking that.
Well, do you think the developer did this on purpose on the eve of election day to and make this announcement of taking down this guy who you met a few times, his home?
No, I think you bring up an excellent point. I think it's totally possible that he thought it would maybe rattle me, maybe make me upset before the election. But we're having too much fun. We have too much enthusiasm, too much hydroxychloroquine, too many therapeutics, and we're doing very strongly and having a great time. And we'll fight the Jeff Epstein fight next week. We're going to stop it, though. We're not going to allow that beautiful home of that beautiful man to be defiled and turned into something not pure and high quality.
Mr. President, before we take questions from the listeners, I wanted to ask you about your family and how everyone is. Did Barron recover from COVID? I also want to, okay, that's what I figured the answer would be. I also wanted to ask you about, is Don Jr. Still low on the totem pole?
Don Jr., I don't think will ever recover from where he is on the totem pole. It's Ivanka, followed by Ivanka's breasts, followed by Eric, followed by Barton, followed by Don Jr., and then Tiffany. We don't count.
Okay. Because I was going to say Don Jr., when he does these interviews, it almost
I think he has substance problems. I think he's on, I think he's on cocaine.
It looks like he's doing a WWE promo every time he does an interview.
I blame his nasty, horny Puerto Rican woman, Kim Gargoyle. I blame her. I think she's become like a Tony Montana.
Yeah, the only thing he doesn't
got him high on coke all the time.
It's crazy. The only thing he doesn't do at the end of each interview is like put his hand up and like do this to the camera. Like that's the only thing he doesn't do. He always screams at whoever's interviewing him. It's wild. So I'm glad he's still low on the totem pole. Now, Mr. President, I'm sure we have tons of questions.
This is the most exclusive access you can get.
It is. So I'm going to tell.
By the way, I hope everybody out there, this is an important message. Everybody out there on Facebook that listens to their president's podcast has to vote for a certain dog before 8 a.m. Tuesday. It is the most powerful and strongest presidential vote you'll make tomorrow. Even more important than the vote you'll vote for me. And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I think they know what I'm talking about because we are going to have some serious Bill Barr retribution if a certain dog doesn't make the calendar cover. Okay? I think we've spoken very strongly on this now.
Hashtag vote for Cookie. I got you. Now,
before 8 a.m. Tuesday, it's the most important vote you'll place all week.
Of course. Now, we have one question. Patreon Patriots, we will be fielding questions throughout the bonus episodes as well this month. So ask your questions. It is the night before Election Day. Ask any question. We are going to go. Of course, we have to open the floor always and just give him the respect he is due. And that is the president of the Patreon Patriots. Tom Fitzgerald, you are up first.
Of course, and he knows so strongly that if I win, he's going to have a place in the second term administration.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's going to be the greatest honor of my life. Thank you, sir.
Okay, correction. And I didn't think I'd have to tell you this of all people. It's Mr. President, sir.
I don't know what happened, sir. Mr. President, sir, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm so sorry,
for the first time, I'm not confident in the election. When Tom Fitzgerald forgets to put the sir after Mr. President, that is actually the first time I've had doubts. But we'll be okay. We'll be okay.
My question to you, Mr. President, sir, is will you be doing any events with Roger Stone's wife tomorrow to shore up the Hispanic vote? Thank you, sir.
We actually, well, the funny thing is tonight, there's actually a fundraiser with Roger Stone's wife. And there's a chance she won't be available tomorrow night. She might be in an ICU because tonight is a night it's called 500 Cuban cigars, because as you know, his wife is Cuban. And for a $1,000 entry, you join the party and sort of act like a cigar with Roger Stone's wife. Both a traditional cigar where it's, how you use a traditional cigar, and also in a Bill Clinton sort of methodology as well. So we hope that she can party tomorrow night, but she's doing her part now with, the 500 Cigars fundraiser. So great question. And we hope, we wish her well. And, she should be out of the ICU soon, doing strong recovery. Physical therapy, she'll probably have to do some physical therapy as well. So unlikely that she will be partying with us tomorrow night, but she'll be there in spirit. She'll be in traction, in spirit.
Excellent question to start off tonight, Tom. And we're going to go to Just Some Guy, Ben.
Thank you so much. Sir, Mr. President, sir, sure. I was wondering, I was looking at polling.
Thank you. By the way, that's him, Tom. I'll let you get away with that. But he recognized that Sean Connery gave me his sir when he died. His last wish was for me to have his sir, which he pronounced sure. So thank you, Just Some Guy, Ben.
You're very welcome, sir, Mr. President, sir. So my question is with regards to polling. I believe that many of the main polling companies are not including truck stop glory holes. I was just wondering if you might have heard an update from BGMP with regards to this demographic. Thank you.
No, we've been calling him our polling czar for quite some time. And he has done extensive work throughout the country. And I think that's the hidden vote. Because as you know, men keep many secrets at truck stops across this country. And Mike Pence is privy to all these secrets. And we have strong support among the secretive truck stop male community. And Mike Pence has taken a very active leadership role in that community and informs me that we are at 95% with that demographic. So we feel very confident that could be a strong swing vote. So we're very happy with that. Thank you.
Our next, we're gonna have Denise. Denise, you are next with the president.
What an honor, sir, Mr. President, sir. I'm very nervous. My first time.
That's okay. Remember Randy and the Rainbows? They had a song, Denise.
Oh yes, I know it well. I just wanted to compliment you on how you're softening up your voters by leaving them out in the cold for so long. I see you did that a second time just now in Georgia. It's like the stuff of dictators is brilliant. And I was wondering if you would mind divulging what you might be softening them up for. Like maybe are you going to take away some essential rights or have them agree to certain things? If you don't mind divulging any future plans in your second or third term.
Well, thank you. No, that's a great question. And what's important for people who see a strong leader, okay, because we have to project, it's called strength, okay, not weakness. That's what we're going to have with Sleepy Joe Biden. We have to show strength. And sometimes you have to take your own supporters and say, I'm sacrificing you, because the Democrats will see, wait a second, Trump is not afraid to kill his own supporters. What's he going to do to me? He's giving his supporters hypothermia, COVID, and in the case of some truck stops with Mike Pence, STDs. And if he's willing to do that to his supporters, what the hell is he going to do to the Democrats? What in the hell is he going to do to the Democrats if he's treating his friends that way? And I think you can see the fear in the Democrats. They're very scared right now, and they should be. We have a list, and we're checking it twice. It's like Santa Claus, except, instead of a fat guy with a beard, it's Bill Barr, a fat guy with a grudge.
Thank you very much, Denise. We're going to go with Michael. He might be the vice president of the Patreon Patriots, but Michael, you're up next.
Thanks, Bob. Mr. President, sir, I wanted to follow up on the question from the earlier Patreon Patriot about the truck stops. I wanted to ask you, how do you get such devotion from the people close to you? I heard that the vice president didn't leave the truck stop till 5 a.m. and he milked every last drop of support out of those truckers for you. How do you get that level of support?
Well, Mike Pence, it's a faith. It's really a faith at this point. You know, Mike Pence, the guy never leaves his knees. He's such a man. He's such a man of God. The man's always praying, always working to make the nation a better place. And when it comes to my supporters, I honestly think that Mountain Dew is sort of has like powerful sort of mind control. I think when you drink Mountain Dew, you just sort of, you love President Trump and nobody can shake you from that. And it's a very powerful thing. Having that support, allows me to be more free as a president. Okay. I don't have to always worry. When Sleepy Joe gets in the White House, everybody's going to be yelling at him. AOC will be yelling at him. The left will be yelling. The center left will be yelling at him. It's going to be total chaos. But with me, I'm given great freedom because I don't have to worry about my people supporting me. It's a great thing for a leader to have sort of total blind support. And then Mike Pence is just, what a lieutenant, what a brilliant, strong supporter he is, just constantly just taking it everywhere he can. He can absorb so much. He can absorb so much. He could teach Roger Stone's wife a thing or two, I think, because I can tell you, Mike Pence doesn't need a day off after his truck stop tours, okay? But we pray for Roger Stone's wife because, the 500 cigar fundraiser is, that's a tough fundraiser. That's for legal fees. So we need it, but it's not coming easily.
Thank you so much, Michael. We're going to go with Chris C. next.
Hello, Mr. President, sir. It's an honor to meet you.
Great to meet you.
I had a question and I had some thoughts about, the first 4 years you've been so big and so strong in fighting the deep state. And we got an extra hour yesterday. We changed the clocks and gained an hour. And so I was just thinking, do you think that's daylight savings is another deep state conspiracy and we should just throw the whole election out because it gave people an extra hour? And what other hoaxes will you fight for the American people?
No, that's a great question. And I actually addressed this with my Twitter followers yesterday. I don't know that that's the deep state because we've done a pretty good job of getting a lot of deep state people out. What I think it is it's a voter fraud thing. And the Democrats don't even realize we're going to cancel tomorrow's voting an hour early because they snuck in an hour in the middle of the night. They go into your clocks and they turn it back. They turn the clocks back. And now I know Mike Pence loves the song "If I Could Turn Back Time" by Cher, but all due respect to that, I know it was Mike Pence for Halloween. He dressed up as in the leather straps and danced around to the song. But they added time. Nobody's ever done this before. Nobody. They added time to get extra time for the mail-in votes and the voter fraud. So tomorrow, we're ending the election an hour early, and it's going to be a nice surprise for the Democrats. I can tell you that.
Mr. President, so you're telling
other hoaxes? Were there other hoaxes? Or was that well, we're going to look into a lot of things. Obviously, the moon landing is very controversial. And, obviously Anne agrees. I saw that Anne excited over that. And she will now be muted, or we'll tell her, get the hell out of here. But, we're looking into the moon landing. We're looking into a lot of things, to be honest. We're looking, there's some talk among some of my followers that the Holocaust, I don't know if you've heard of this, is something that people are looking into. And I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm not saying, but I think it's something that should be looked into, and I think you'd agree.
Wait, Mr. President, so you're telling me that the Democrats are behind daylight savings in order to get extra time?
If it was Republicans, it might be called Raylight savings for an R, but it's daylight because of the Democrats, the D. Calm down, Mike.
The D. And you and you tell me you're looking into the Holocaust? What are you looking into?
No, there's a lot of reading to be done, a lot of information. So I'm not saying one way or the other, but we're going to find out. There are many opinions on it. I think, as you know, many people have different opinions on it, and I think it's something worth looking into.
Mr. President, I wanted to ask you something I forgot to ask you, and I apologize. When it comes to Israel and Jerusalem, you're very you really want to make Jerusalem the capital, and you're all gung ho Jew. But then I read something that evangelicals in the Bible, that the Jewish people have to build up Jerusalem in order for Jesus to come back. So you're really doing this not for the Jewish people, and the Jewish people think you're all about the Jews, but you're really just doing this for the evangelicals. Is that correct?
I'm doing it for both. I'm doing it for whoever asks me at the time. I say that I'm supporting what they want. And, it's good. I think, if Jesus wants to come back, we can see, he'd have to go through proper immigration, of course. We're not going to just let him in. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But no, I support both our evangelicals. I support the Jewish people. I want them to be happy and safe and have their birth land. But, I also want them to be, left on earth or sent to hell for not accepting Jesus Christ when he comes back, as my great evangelicals want. So what I'm saying is I want, it's sort of the best of both worlds.
Okay, understood. Will, thank you for being patient. Will, you're up next.
Thank you. Hello, Mr. President, Sir Donald Trump, sir. My
Thank
question
you, sir.
is, with Arizona being a key swing state and also where John McCain served as senator, would you be willing to say something nice about him to sway the Arizona voters?
I would rather lose the state of Arizona and have to cover myself in glue, hump the sand of the Arizona desert, and have it cut my very large penis with the sand and the glass, then say anything nice about that coward who is not fit to even be looked down upon from heaven by the great Jeff Epstein.
I hope that answers your question, Will.
But if his daughter wants to show up to an event in Arizona and wants me to sign her cleavage, I would honor her with that. And that's all I'll say about the nasty loser McCain family.
We had a question here. Marcy, you are up next.
Thank you, Craig. Mr. President, sir, it's great to see you. Here in Texas, they're daring to say that it's a close race, and of course, it's not true. It's going to be a blowout. And I apologize for being a bit late tonight. I was stealing Biden signs, so that they wouldn't influence people tomorrow on their way.
Well, we like to hear that. You can always show up late if you're destroying democracy for your president.
Yeah, I knew you'd approve. I did it in your name. I knew you'd approve. But I do have a question. This morning, the wife of Turtle McConnell said that.
Who, by the way, is from China. She's from China. We're not so
yeah,
sure
absolutely. We could go into that. But she said that he gets up in the morning and makes her a warm cup of coffee, a decaf. In fact, it's decaf. And that he does his own laundry, which I found shocking. And I'm wondering,
Why would you have a Chinese wife and then do your own laundry?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Isn't that the best of all worlds, to have your own sort of laundry business in your bedroom?
That's fantastic.
You wake up, she gives you a ticket, you throw your clothes at her and say, "I'll see you later."
Well, what I was wondering was I can talk to a few people and between now and voting tomorrow to try to get some more votes for you. And I was wondering if you could tell us something that you do for Melania that would also kind of humanize you the way that she's humanized the turtle.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's a nice question, and thank you for your strong support. I would say that, first off, decaf coffee is for stupid people. That's like saying, I take the cocaine that doesn't make me high. Oh, good choice. Very smart. What I would say is what I do for melatonin, which is different than I think what Mitch McConnell does. And I hope the tech stuff guy took a note as to when we discussed Mitch McConnell's wife. I would say every Sunday, I'm always up earlier than her. I wake up earlier than her. The sleeping pills kind of stay with her longer. So I go down and I watch Fox News for an hour. And then I bring up some McDonald's breakfast, and I serve her breakfast in bed, which is while she's still lying there asleep, I lay out the pancakes, the McGriddles, the sausages, and the hash browns on her naked body while she's still sleeping. How the Japanese do with the sort of, I've seen that in movies. And I just eat my breakfast off of her. So I serve her breakfast in bed, and it's very romantic. And then when she wakes up covered in syrup, she'll say, "What is this, Donald?" I go, "Don't worry, it's all syrup from McDonald's, I promise." And, then I get on with my day. So I think that's very romantic. It's a little more passionate, I think, than the Mitch McConnell laundry lady situation, but it's strong.
Laundry. Do we have any more questions from the Patreon Patriots, Mr. President? I know you are very busy, of course.
In the chat, there was somebody, tech stuff people.
I know.
There were questions in the chat.
I saw. I'm looking at the chat right now. I got you, Mr. President.
Okay.
And Zoe, of course, she has, of course, your good friend Jeffrey Epstein right next to her.
One of the best.
Mr. President, sir, thank you for taking my question.
Absolutely.
I was wondering if you saw Obama do his three-pointer shot on the basketball court on the campaign trail over the weekend. Were you impressed by that?
I did see it, and what I call his shooting form, WNBAARP, because he looks like an old woman when he shoots the ball. He was lucky that thing went in. He was totally lucky that shot went in.
Do you think Sleepy Joe could have made that same shot?
Sleepy Joe, I don't think could lift up the basketball. I don't think he has the strength to lift up. I'll give Obama credit, with his big black strength. He can lift it up much stronger than Biden could. I think Biden, the basketball would fall on him like a ton of bricks. He's so weak.
When are we going to see your athletic prowess on the campaign trail?
Well, you can see me. I don't golf too much, but I think you've probably seen me golfing maybe once or twice during my presidency. So I walk very powerfully, and I'm a very strong golfer. And I also had a catch with Mariano Rivera, the great closer of the Yankees. I had a catch, and I threw the baseball very strongly. Very tough throws. So I think I've shown a lot more athletic skill than Sleepy Joe Biden, who I think he's going to be our first president that just sits outside and feeds pigeons. I think he's going to be the pigeon feeding president. That's what Sleepy Joe's going to be. He's going to play chess in the park, feed pigeons, and poop himself. And that's what some of the nasty Democrats want to be their president. It's a total disgrace. It's a disgrace to the great country that I've made.
Well, thank you, Mr. President.
So,
Thank you, Zoe. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you. A few questions left. Let's go to David. You're muted, David. We gotta unmute you.
Sorry about that. Apologies. Mr. President, sir. Apologies.
Yes.
So, of course, you're going to win tomorrow, without question. In a hypothetical scenario where you don't win and the nasty Cy Vance and Tish James are coming after you, it's a lot of money that they are looking to get from you. And I just wonder if you have ideas about what you might do to raise that money. Would there be sponsorships you're open to? For example, Blackwater or Tushy.com, or are there other ways that you've thought of to raise money so that we can think about how to help you? Thank you for the question.
Thank you. No, that's a good question. And if I don't like to do the hypotheticals, but I'll do a hypothetical. I know that Roger Stone's wife has already pledged to raise at least $10 million for my legal defense fund, which is, let me tell you something, that's going to be a lot of work for her. My wife, mesothelioma, is starting an OnlyFans, and I've convinced Ivanka to do the same. And I think that will be very lucrative. And then I want to do sponsorships in my last 2 months of the presidency. If I lose, we will be offering sponsorships to advertise on the White House, okay, at $1 million a day, banners that and we don't discriminate content, okay? Except Black Lives Matter, we won't allow that. But anything you want, one day, $1 million on the White House. And I'm also going to start wearing, like NASCAR on the back of my suit. There'll be 5 patches available for people to advertise things at $20,000 a day. So I think we're going to raise a tremendous amount of money. I think we're going to actually have extra money. And if they decide that, low IQ Tish James and stupid Cy Vance want to come for me, they're gonna find that I can write them a very strong check and then tell them to leave me alone. And that's if I lose, which of course we both know I'm not losing.
Thank you, David, for the question. We have 4 more questions, Mr. President. Is that okay? 4 more?
It's a lot of questions.
I know. Last 4 questions. Last 4 questions. We're going to go with
cutting off the questions now.
Okay. Last 4 questions. Kenna, you are on with the president.
Hello, Mr. President, sir.
Hello, Kenna.
First things first, I wanted to show you this awesome souvenir that I got at one of the Trump stores in South Dakota. I think you'll love it.
Is that a Trump voodoo doll?
No, absolutely not. It's just, I know you love your doing different things with your hair and stuff. And so, I don't know exactly what it is actually, but I got it along with my Mr. President, you can grab this pussy t-shirt and my case of Mountain
Dew. Okay, I see. So that is, okay, so we're talking about a premium MAGA person. We love that.
But my question was, do you know how the numbers are looking in the battleground states?
I think we're doing very strongly. I think COVID has killed several Democrats, so that's a good sign. And the rest of our people are armed and ready and going to do voter intimidation tomorrow. So it's called democracy at work. Okay, that's what we call it. It's like remember Schoolhouse Rock? This is like an updated version. It's called Schoolhouse Kid Rock, where all of my people stop democracy from working so that we can have a strong president. So I like our battleground stats. I like our polling. Mike Pence has looked at a lot of polls in a lot of states, and I think we're doing. I think it's going to be a great day for Trump, but even more important, a great day for our country. As you can tell, I don't believe that when I slow down like that. That's a little thing for the Patreon patriots. It's a great day for me. Who gives a shit what happens to the country? I'm going to win very toughly.
Thank you, Kenna and Mr. President Schoolhouse Kid Rock. I love that. We're going to go with the last three
A
questions.
lot of title possibilities.
Oh, too many to handle. We're going to go with Zoe, then Michael, and close it out with Tom Fitzgerald. So, Zoe, you are up.
Oh, I already asked my question, but
Okay.
I do have one more. I can give one more quick question.
Sure.
Mr. President, sir, do you have any special routine that you do the eve of the election? Anything special you have planned tonight with melatonin?
Madagascar and I, we watch a very tasteful snuff film, and very tasteful. And she takes an extra dose of sleeping pills because she's very tense, and because it's our prenuptially agreed upon night of passionate presidential lovemaking. And then we have intense lovemaking, and I go to bed very confident and well rested. I get my usual 2.5 hours of sleep, and then wake up to watch 5 a.m. Fox News and start tweeting. So, that's just our little sort of innocent, romantic sort of night before a big event. So it's very typical love story.
Sounds lovely. Well, I hope you have a good night's sleep tonight.
Thank you very much. And say hello to Jeff Epstein for me.
I will.
Thank you, Zoe. Michael, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Again, just wanted to say that unfortunately I can't vote in this country, so I wanted to clarify, is it more important tomorrow that I block the highway or that I go to a polling station and intimidate people?
What was the first option? I kind of like both.
Block the highway for no reason or go.
Oh, no, blocking the highway tomorrow is actually, I would say no to that, because our people are voting tomorrow because they're not afraid of COVID. They want to show loyalty to me. So they're all voting in person tomorrow. So don't block the highway. What you should do is get a gun and wear a t-shirt, potentially with sort of racially insensitive language, and just walk back and forth in front of your nearest polling location. Or unless you live in a great Republican area, if you live go to the nearest Democratic area and just walk back and forth with your gun and your racially insensitive t-shirt or sign. And, just do a nice 8 to 12 hour shift, and that should take care of things. Thank you. We appreciate your service.
Thank you, Michael. And we are going to end this Q&A with Patreon President Tom Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Mr. President, sir. Last night, we all watched the Dallas Cowboys get quarterbacked by a known Maniscalco. And I don't think that's great for anybody.
Is he the comedian?
Danucci? I don't know his background.
I thought you said Maniscalco.
Well, I thought that was the code word for Italian.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm very busy right now. Thank you. You're using the code words. Very good.
But do you
Chief of Staff, second term Chief of Staff, Tom Fitzgerald, because he's keeping me focused. We like that. A lot of talent.
You're going to have a lot of downtime, sir, in between tomorrow's victory and the second inauguration, the gimping. Do you think you'd be willing to quarterback Dallas to a Super Bowl? Is that something you'd be talented at? Thank you, Mr. President, sir.
That's a great question. And, I'm going to say something very humble right now, okay? People are used to me saying very sort of bold things. I don't think I could be the quarterback of Dallas right now. I think if you'd talked to me 5 or 6 years ago, I think I easily could have been the quarterback for the Cowboys, and we probably would have won the Super Bowl.
In your early 70s, Mr. President?
Well, I would say late 60s,
Okay.
and I became president, and it's a lot tougher job than being coach or quarterback, I can tell you that. So now I would say I could not do it. I could probably still play tight end. Calm down, Mike. I could probably still play tight end very strongly because I'm, very sort of 6'2", 225, 6'4", 225. Easily could do that. But no, I think we're going to spend the period between, as you called it, thank you for remembering, the gimping. Remember that tech stuff? I don't know if
Yes.
you heard that episode.
The gimping.
Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, the rest of the, and we're going to even throw AOC in there, although I might like to take a shot at AOC. And big gay Mike Pence comes out in a leather mask right at high noon during my second inauguration and delivers holy justice. And I mean holy both religiously and invading people's holes. Justice for his president. And that's the tone we're going to set with our second term. So thank you for all the questions.
Thank you, Tom.
Still your president next week, but obviously things might change if things don't go nicely tomorrow. So next week will be very interesting, but we have obviously 2 more episodes this week. So you'll be getting great insight from your president 3 times a week for the month of November.
And Mr. President, this episode is going to go up for everyone tonight. Is that correct? Or are we doing a split tonight? I don't know how you want to do it.
Oh, no. This is going up for everybody tonight because we want all the Patreon people to have the proper flow of information.
Very good.
So we're going to go up tonight. But of course, most important, even more important than voting for your president tomorrow, is if you hear this episode before 8 a.m. Eastern, you vote for that damn dog.
Hashtag vote for Cookie. Also, join the Patreon. We got tons of bonus episodes this month, at least 8 bonus episodes this month. So patreon.com/MPGA and pick whatever level is good for you. Patreon Patriots, awesome questions. And thank you for joining us. And we'll be doing other live episodes as well this month. And please vote. Please vote. Thank you very much. Black Lives Matter, Mr. President.
Okay, well, this is your last episode being tech stuff guy with that hateful language you just threw out. I will say this, vote for your president, and we'll see what happens. No, thank you guys. This was awesome. Great questions as always. It's always very nice. More so than ever to have this nice group of fans very consistently show up. So thank you. Everybody who's listening who didn't make it to the live show, or the live chat, they are a lot of fun. So consider joining the next one because we have a ton of Patreon people who could have shown up. So it is fun.
Sure.
Hopefully you enjoyed listening to this. But thank you everybody who's shown up. And the podcast will continue. I think the best thing for the podcast is a Joe Biden win, because then I can do lame duck Donald. And then for a year, you can get Donald Trump, the world's worst political pundit. If Donald Trump wins a second term, I genuinely don't think I'll be comfortable doing this in 2021. So that's just another reason to vote for Joe Biden. Or Joe Jorgensen if you're an asshole. If you want to go with that libertarian ticket and be a total useless turd. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for this year. You took this podcast, which was good for many years, but you have helped make it a big hit. Thankfully, mostly because of my viral video in March, but that's okay. I don't want to take all the credit for this. But thank you very much. Thank you, Tech Stuff Guy. Congrats on the new house. And
thank you, dude.
More than ever, God help us all.
Hashtag vote for Cookie.
Hey, I get the last word. That's our thing. No, seriously, vote for Cookie. I agree with Tech Stuff Guy.